There are periods in life when you are not lazy. You still wake up early. You still watch videos. You still take notes. You still set goals. You still tell yourself, I need to be better. And yet, your life feels almost frozen. Not worse, but not better either. It's like running on a treadmill. You sweat, your heart rate goes up, you feel like you're trying, but the scenery never changes. And the most frustrating part is not failure. It's the feeling, I'm trying so hard, so why am I still stuck here? Our minds are very good at confusing the feeling of progress with real progress. You read more, you watch more, you listen more, you understand more. Each time you understand more, your brain gives you a small reward. Good, you're growing. That feeling is comforting. It feels like you just laid another brick for your future. But there is something subtle here. Many times, that brick is placed in your head, not in your actual life. Understanding more does not automatically mean living differently. Knowing more does not automatically mean reacting differently. But your brain doesn't clearly separate those things. As long as you feel like you're on the right path, your brain gives you the reward. And you can stay for a very long time in a dangerous place. The place where you feel like you're progressing, but your real life is not changing. Maybe the problem is not that you're not trying hard enough. Maybe the problem is that you're only trying inside the boundaries that do not threaten your old identity. Watching another video is safe. Reading another book is safe. Writing another page is safe. Those things don't make you embarrassed. They don't make your hands shake. They don't make you feel clumsy. But there are other changes that don't feel like growth at all. They just feel awkward, scary, uncomfortable, not flattering. Saying no to someone who takes advantage of you. Stopping yourself from over-explaining to someone who doesn't really listen. Admitting, I'm jealous. Admitting I'm afraid of being left behind. Doing something you know you might be judged for. Those moments don't feel like personal development. They feel like losing face. And yet, those are often the moments that actually change the direction of your life. Maybe growth is not about adding something new. Maybe it's about letting go of certain old ways of being that once helped you survive, but no longer help you move forward. There is a kind of avoidance that is very hard to notice. It doesn't look like laziness. It looks like being busy. You do a lot. Long to-do lists, a full calendar. You feel responsible. But if you look closely, many of those tasks protect you from facing a few more important things. Cleaning your room instead of making a difficult phone call. Optimizing your system instead of sending an email that might get rejected. Learning more instead of starting something you might be bad at. Busyness creates the illusion of movement, but often it is just a polite way to postpone fear. You don't tell yourself, I'm scared. You tell yourself, I'm preparing more. But sometimes preparing for too long is just another way to never really begin. Real change often looks very ordinary, not a transformation, not a big dramatic decision, just small, quiet shifts. Waking up 20 minutes earlier, not to do more, but to sit in silence. Not replying to messages immediately, even though you could. Not explaining yourself too much, even though you want to be understood. There are no before and after photos, no inspirational stories, no applause, but these small choices quietly change how you stand in your own life. From someone who always reacts to someone who has a pause. From someone who always tries to fit in to someone who allows a little misalignment. There is a type of person who often says, I get it, I understand, I already know. They understand quickly, they catch on fast, they can explain things very well. But in relationships, they are still the ones who stay silent when they should speak, talk too much when they should be quiet, give in when they're actually upset, smile when they are hurt. One day they realize something quietly. I don't lack understanding. I lack those small, difficult moments where I do the opposite of my usual reflex. The first time they say, actually, that made me uncomfortable. Their heart races. Their voice shakes. It doesn't sound impressive. It's not inspirational. But after that sentence, the atmosphere in the relationship shifts. Not because the sentence was perfect, but because for the first time, a boundary was placed. When you change how you respond, some people around you will feel that you are no longer as easy as before. Not because you became worse, but because you are no longer playing the old role they were used to. You don't laugh things off as much. You're not always available. You don't explain everything. And this creates a strange feeling. You are doing something that feels right, but you also feel a little more alone. Many people go back to their old version of themselves just to keep the peace. Not because they don't understand, but because they are not used to the feeling of no longer fitting so neatly into other people's expectations. Growth does not always come with a sense of pride. There are phases where growth simply means you stop running away. You stop running from disappointment. You stop running from jealousy. You stop running from the feeling of not being enough. You don't fix it right away. You just stay with it for a few more minutes. That's it. But next time, you don't need busyness, entertainment, or self-criticism to escape that feeling. That is a very quiet kind of strength. No one sees it, but you do. There are changes no one can see from the outside. You go to the same job, you see the same people, you live in the same room. But inside, the way you talk to yourself has shifted. You don't attack yourself as quickly. You don't force yourself to be okay right away. You allow yourself to be uncomfortable a little longer without escaping. No one notices that. But it changes how you endure, how you recover, how you continue. Sometimes you realize you don't really need more motivation. You need more clarity about the cost of not changing, the cost of avoiding that conversation, the cost of staying in the easy role, the cost of preparing without starting. That cost is not loud. It is a slow erosion, a quiet sense that each year passes and you are still close to the same place. Instead of asking, what is my next step for growth? You might ask, what in me is asking to be seen, but I keep pretending not to notice? What part of me do I only accept when it looks okay, but quickly reject when it looks messy? If I don't need to be better right now, where could I be more honest instead? Maybe you don't need a new version of yourself. Maybe you just need to run a little less from the version you already are. Less performing, less pretending to be fine, less using growth to avoid small but real confrontations. And if you look closely, your life doesn't change through big decisions. It changes through very small moments when you choose not to go back to the old way. No one applauds, no one notices, but you do. And maybe that is enough to begin a real movement.